to the hey, all you sports fans out there in the tubosphere, to the individuals, part of the collective. Welcome to Fast Track Sports Rock Highlights here on Talk Radio version of the OMSR. I am your brief but concise host, Will, the alternative ESPN Sports Film. Talking briefly and concisely, highlights to come. Second half of San Diego State going off to Kansas. Now this is one of your last pretty cool non-conference type matchups, and they happen to both be in the top 20. Kind of a rarity at this time of year, because all the other conferences have started. So I think this may have been like one of your last, interesting parodies of conferences and teams and whatnot. Coming up. Don't want to spoil it for you, but Kansas's bubble was burst in a certain kind of way. Just a reminder, the sponsor of the OMSR is the DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Covers a fair use standard, minimal use, and derivatives. So all the video highlights courtesy to CBS and the respective universities and the NCAA, everything else, to the OMSR. Now the tricky thing about college basketball is, especially the way they're calling fouls this year, ebb and flow, especially with a lot of the stuff shown on the channel, or that has been covered on the channel. I'm not a big fan of putting together 20-second vignettes that comprise the sum total of a smaller, a larger vignette of a bunch of smaller vignettes, because that just gets annoying. 20-second bits, this, that, and the other blurring together. But it is a tricky thing. And towards the end of the game, the timeline, or what was allocated for the time, can run out. So in this case, we don't necessarily get to see it. Alright, so this is how it ended. Dude hits clutch free throws. Kansas fouls. They hit 1 out of 2. And the game ends by 4. I just sort of spoiled it for you, but I had to explain, I ran out of time. That missed free throw, it was their last chance, without having to foul and shorten the clock, shorten the game type deal. You know what I'm saying? Alright, thanks for watching. Happy New Year's week. No silly DUIs while you're out there. Roll clips.
Fast analysis as we get you ready for Kansas and San Diego.
Well, we mentioned their front line. It's incredible. But in terms of scoring for Kansas, it's going to come down to the near guard, their point guard, who's playing with a bad ankle, and Frank Mason, who will play with him some, and how they handle sending such pressure. Meanwhile, standing in the seat meets other scorers. J.J. O'Brien, Josh Davis. They got a great shot blocking lineup for Kansas. Continuing to take in the buckets. Keep this crowd out of it.
Get to our starters. Xavier Thames, arguably the most underrated point guard in the country. Shepard, O'Brien, Davis, the transfer from Tulane, and Spencer. He's there for Kansas. Sharp at the point. Sheldon Wiggins, the highly touted incoming first-year player. Also Perry Ellis and Joel Embiid. Back and Lawrence, let's get you the Powerade first half stats, and this is just shocking. Kansas, fifth in the country, Doug, at nearly 51% shooting. They have been held to 6 for 29.
How about this? In Bill Self's 372 games at Kansas, the worst effective field goal percentage was 32% against TCU in a loss last year. Their effective field goal percentage, which takes into account, adding kind of a half point to it because of three-point shooting, 24%. So this is far and away the worst offensive half since Bill Self has been the head coach of Kansas.
Xavier Thames, 9 points to lead the Aztecs. How impressed have you been with San Diego State?
Very. Not surprised, though, because I've seen Xavier Thames since he transferred from Washington State. This is who he is. Off a ball screen going left, you force him right, you can get to the bucket, and then if you don't hedge on a ball screen, he'll make it.
No field goals for the Jayhawks in the final 4.5 minutes for the first half. Set up Spencer. Underneath to Davis. There's a 3. Shepard. Offensive rebound. O'Brien blocked by Ellis. And Sharp for loose ball. Clark playing on that tweaked ankle that he hurt in practice Wednesday. Quiet first half. Embiid.
Nice.
4-point game. Here comes Shepard.
Equally nice.
Embiid on the catch. Frost left open. That's a shot they're going to have to hit. They're going to win this game.
You got to give him a better pass, and Tharp, if you don't get a good pass, don't take that shot.
Here's Shepard, 17 points over his last 3. Stop clock now at 11. Shepard wants to take play. Underneath, offensive rebound. Spencer. Kansas at this hand has missed 6 of his last 7 shots. Inside, look at it. Brad putting it down. 7-point game. Last basket scored by Taylor. We were blocked here for a moment. 14 to shoot. Davis inside gets it, twin block, and they get it back somehow. Davis. That quiets him down. 16,000 plus here. 8 points for the Tulane transfer, Josh Davis. Davis poking it away. Shepard has it. No one back to passes. And San Diego State's lead is 11 here now in Fieldhouse Field. You have to go back 7 calendar years. November 15, 06 against Oral Roberts.
Oral Roberts replaced the Bill Self formerly coach. They came in. I mean, Martello Bealey was 1 of 13 for 3 for the season. He hit 7 of 8 threes in November. And they hit 11 as a team. And Scott Sutton, who of course played at Oklahoma State. Bill Self, a former Oklahoma State player himself, came in and did what his dad could not and won here at the Fall. They haven't lost through non-conference play since.
Bill Self in this building, 166 and 8. He's got more Big 12 conference titles than losses in his place. Just remarkable. But right now, up against it, his team down 11. Told you about San Diego State, 21st in the country, 10 straight wins. Only the 5th double-digit win streak in their history. 4 has come in the desert. Shepard gliding to the rim. Embiid has it. This match is the biggest lead today for the Aztecs.
Terry Ellis can really score. They need to get him the ball.
Mason saw the opening. 9-point deficit short for Mason.
But again, that's Terry Ellis catching it, double comes, take a step away, finally open there.
Tells about how young Kansas is and just how new this team is. Davis the tip, second tip. O'Brien. J.J. O'Brien, the young man who transferred from Utah before that 11-12 season, redshirted his first year. Big play. Here comes Shepard off the turnover. To the rim.
Good win for help.
That Kansas has been since the 12:05 mark of the first half when they were down 10-9. Davis, 5-point Aztecs lead. Off against Baines. Still 20 to shoot. Mason's going to try it. Baines, off balance. O'Brien had it poked away. Baines nearly took it back, and they poke it away. Shepard. We are under.
Remember, you're just joining us. Kansas hasn't lost a non-conference game here since 2006. And San Diego State hasn't lost the last 103 games in which they led with 5 minutes to go. Somebody's got to get it.
The call on the floor is Kansas basketball. Yeah, that's about as close as it gets.
I can't tell when it last touches. From that angle, I can't tell when it last touches J.J. O'Brien's hand. He obviously hits the ball first.
Doug, if they don't have conclusive evidence.
It's like it's still rolling off his, like the top of his fingers there, even though dude underneath was touching it.
There's J.J. O'Brien.
His longer reach still was touching it last.
Leading rebounder. Look at some of the damage he's done.
They're still not certain. I'm telling you, if I were officiating, it would be San Diego State ball. But you're right in that it doesn't. It's indisputable. Let it play it out. San Diego State's not exactly magical offensively. Play it out. You're gonna run out there, big shot.
Swallowed him up. Loose ball slapped down by Spencer. Shot clock at 30, right?
You don't have to foul still. 27.
They'll foul O'Brien. Final 30 seconds. Kansas down. There's Steve Fisher stepping foot in this building for the first time in his long, illustrious coaching career last night with the Aztecs running through their practice. What a magical run it's been for Fisher, 15 years at San Diego State. 20 seconds left. Kansas is out of timeouts.
Now, Self put this off sideline and down play in and look for Andrew Wiggins to catch it on the weak side.
Mason at the point.
Same as Colorado and San Diego State switch.
0.8 left, up one.
I mean, you couldn't have gotten a better chance here. Great effort from Andrew Wiggins. Great effort from Joel Embiid. And Ellis just wasn't expecting it. Slipped out of his hands.
Everyone standing here at Allen Fieldhouse. Aztecs have one time left. A double foul failure.
All right, 1-on-1. Here's the money shot. And remember, no timeouts for Kansas, so we have to run it out.
Kansas again out of timeouts, 8.3 left.
And they're going to run the same play that they always run here. Handoff and a flare screen on the weak side. And if you're San Diego State, under 7, you should...
And they just have way too many timeouts towards the end of the game.